The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Welcome to On the JoB with your host, Linn Paris, editor of the Journal of Business. On the JoB is about the Inland Northwest business community, where you'll hear firsthand the backstories from the men and women reporters at the Journal of Business. On the JoB is brought to you in part by McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Here's Linn.
Welcome to On the JoB with your host, Linn Paris. I'm here today with Samantha Peone, coming to you from a undisclosed location in downtown Spokane.
Yep.
I guess it's not a big secret.
No.
Sunny day, looking good, and the paper just came out. The journal just came out, and Sam has some really good stuff in it. It's probably our most reluctant podcast guest, but she keeps on writing really good stuff, so we keep on making her come on. So. Sam had the lead story in the paper today, and it's about the plans for the North Division Costco building. So why don't you tell us what's going on there?
Yes. Well, a lot. So it's kind of an open-ended question.
Yeah.
Well, we could start with the actual warehouse. So as most of you know by now, Costco is planning to move north of Spokane, about 3.5 miles north up on Newport. So their current Spokane location, I want to say at 7619 North Division, so their North Spokane location, that is being sold. It's currently being sold to a company out in California called Rich Development, and they are planning, currently the business is, the warehouse is in escrow, so sure. Nothing's finalized yet, but they're hoping to build about $15 million worth of, there's a $50 million project that they're planning. Sure. So that could entail 2 to 3 new construction buildings, about 10,000 to 15,000 square feet collectively, and those would be for like restaurant or retail locations. And then for the actual warehouse, they are hoping to lease that out to a few different entities, most likely. So they're sure. looking at different health clubs is a lot of what they're interested in, maybe like a trampoline park, whatever.
Climbing wall,
yeah, exactly.
Like
something
sure,
like that,
sure.
something fun and healthy, in addition to other like warehouse space and things like
sure.
that. And so the reason it's still in escrow is because they want to make sure that everything's okay with the city of Spokane and whatnot before they finalize that purchase, to make sure that they know that they're able to develop what they want to develop there.
Sure. And then there's the fact that Costco is still actually operating.
Oh, well, yes.
So
yes.
So you've got the main warehouse building that'll be divided into 2 or 3 spaces, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you've got 2 or 3 other buildings that are planned. I believe you said in your article that they're planned where the fueling station is now?
Yeah, so that fueling station is expected to tear down relatively soon, I want to say. I don't actually know a date.
Sure.
But they're anticipating tearing that down, and then they would raise 2 or 3 buildings there.
Sure. So the other thing that you can deduce from this that we didn't really talk about, but you can deduce that Costco is getting quite a bit closer to being able to move into their new facility, maybe late summer or something along those lines?
Yeah, and like I said, Costco, as we know, is difficult to get a hold of. So
yeah, they've been tight-lipped about it.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. So we don't know anything from their standpoint, but if they're looking at like a 6-month timeline to get this done, this out of escrow, and to get this project started, we can expect then that Costco could be moving out of their location within that time period as well.
Yeah, sure. Stands to reason. So, so talking about the timeline of the new construction on that site, the warehouse, they're going to make the improvements there, but the new buildings, was it a 2019 timeline that we talked about on that?
Yeah, so they're looking at early 2019 is when they'd like to start construction, and they're hoping to wrap it up the same fall.
Okay, sure. Now, this isn't the first time that Rich Development has done a project like this, right? Why don't you tell us about what they did in Bellingham?
Yeah, well, that's actually still underway. So they have a very similar project that will give us kind of a depiction of what Spokane could look like. When I spoke with Greg, he did say that it's a little different just because of different properties and whatnot. But that one is going to be $18 million. About $18 million is what they're working on, that project price. And that will include a new building, so 4,500 square feet, and that will be like restaurant and retail most likely.
Sure.
And then they will also have Home Goods, Sierra Trading Post, which have the same parent company, and then also Hobby Lobby, which we do have one of here, going into that old building, and they're hoping to open up those tenants within April or May sometime then.
Sure, sure. So the three tenants in the Bellingham one are Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, and Sierra Trading Post, like you just said, of course. And Sierra Trading Post doesn't have a store. We don't know what's going into the one on North Division, but Sierra Trading Post doesn't have a store in Spokane right now.
Yeah.
Home Goods has one in the valley, but not on the north side. And like you said, Hobby Lobby has one right across the street, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, good. Interesting stuff, and a good way to tell people what's going to happen there at the Costco site. Let's talk a little bit, while we're here, let's talk a little bit about e-tails too, because that's another one of your front page stories. And why don't you tell us what they have planned?
So e-tails has outgrown its current headquarters at 850 East Spokane Falls, so McKinstry building.
Yeah, sure.
And that's about 10,000 square feet. They have 210 employees in that one spot. So they are going to quadruple their size and move out to the old Itron headquarters, which is on North Sullivan.
Sure.
And it's a really cool campus. I mean, it used to be 3, 4 maybe buildings and that have all been combined into one. And so it's kind of a funky look about it, but they'll be in the east wing.
Sure.
And beneath that, there's going to be like basketball courts, volleyball courts. Inside, they plan on adding bean bags, hanging hammocks, some cool stuff like that. So some nice perks for the employees.
Yeah, good. So with 40,000 square feet, that's about a quarter of the old Itron building, right?
Yeah, it's like 132, I think.
Yeah. Good. And what's the timeline on that move?
July is when they plan on moving.
Great. Yeah, 210 people and 10,000 square feet is sounds pretty packed. So it'll be interesting to see their new space once they have that up and running. And it sounded like they had some warehouse space close by as well. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so just a little ways away, I don't remember the exact address as we speak, they have an additional 30 employees that work in a warehouse that's pretty close by.
Sure. In the Spokane Business and Industrial Park, if I remember correctly. Yeah, good. All right, well, good stuff. Sam, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming down and talking to us today. Thanks a lot.
On the JoB is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. On the JoB is brought to you by our friends at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Ask Lynn a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com.